Don't mind me, I'm just over here squatting and listening to Reliant K because they're awesome. Maybe you've heard of them, or maybe you haven't. They were big in the 90s and 2000s especially, and like they started out only being known by like Christian youth group types, but eventually they made it to the big time. And then of course when that style of music and bands talking about Jesus got uncool. I don't know what they're doing now, to be honest with you, but they're awesome. Too bad you can't hear it. We're gonna squat a lot. This is 225. We're warming up with it, and I just went all out. Got the knee sleeves on, the squat shoes. I'm gonna start belting up here just because I really want, the squat to be good. And it's like the squat and the bench press specifically are not movements in strongman, but they are movements that help with other movements and implements. Yeah, it's fun to say big words. But seriously, like, you're never going to see a squat like that, or hardly ever. Just like, same thing with the bench. But definitely in strongman, you see a lot of deadlift, which is fine with me because it's fun. But anyhow, we're going to do this as we work our way up to probably, I'm going to say 335 today and try to do some real working sets, see how it goes. But I feel good. Had a good rest recovery day yesterday, so should be great. So yeah, last night, Duck Dynasty is back on TV. All new episodes. So one of my favorite Jay sayings is, if you don't know what you're doing, do it quickly. So that's why I squat fast. It's weird. All three of the lists, squat to me is like the hardest to wrap my head around. I mean, they all have their own technical aspects to them, of course. Anything you move or lift or do, ask any trainer, and they'll break down every little part of any type of lift. No matter how crazy you think the lift is or how simple you think the lift is, there's so many little technical things to it. But squat's always the one I'm like, I feel like I do it different every time. I don't mean to, but this is what it is. So, yeah, but whatever. So let's also want to get into Psalm 37. It's really, really long, but it's got some highlights and some concepts that we're going to get into, I think would be good to talk about anytime. This isn't one of those necessarily, it just hits so good right now. I mean, it's one of those, this psalm is going to hit good all the time because, I mean, look, everyone is going to do or deal with stuff anytime. It just might not be big, earth-shattering, life-changing stuff, but every week there could be a small challenge. It could be something as simple as a flat tire, which some people might be a big deal. To me, it's just a petty annoyance. It means I'm going to have to get my plug kit out, get my little air compressor out, maybe get my battery-powered impact gun and zip it off. One day it'd be cool to talk about these things and say, like, brought to you by, because all these brands I'm not going to mention because they don't pay me yet. But anyhow, there's always something that you're dealing with that you need to be reminded. It's good versus evil. It's, God's plan versus your plan. All these little angles to it. It's like a Rubik's Cube almost if you let it get the best of you. Although there are people that can solve Rubik's Cubes somehow. Don't know how. But that's crazy. So here's an old word. Fret. Because unless you play guitar, you're pretty much never going to use that word these days. Fret. But it's just like upset, bothered, angry, whatever. Fret not thyself because of evildoers. Now that's hard to do, just right there. Comma. Fret not thyself because of evildoers, comma. So there's more. Let's stop there for a second. It's like, okay, don't get upset about evildoers. Oh man, that's hard to do, man. I guess the best way to great example, of course, is you ask anybody during an election year, they get worked up. It doesn't matter which party they're in or support. They're worked up because it's that other guy is the worst person in the world. And they're worked up about it because he's evil and my guy is good. And it's good versus evil every 4 years or 2 years, depending on how much you care about politics. You're either going to care every 2 years or every 4 years. Whatever. But you get it. You see it all the time. The angst, the craziness, the social media posts, all that stuff. People getting worked up about their guy, the other guy, whatever. Then he goes on and says, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity. See, that's a whole other different angle, a different lens, if you will. Because on the other hand, you could see somebody that you think is evil, and it's like, you're almost jealous or envious. It's like, man, I wish I could get away with that. Like, man, that looks like they're having a good time. I'm missing out. I want to have a good time. But, but here's the end game. Here's why don't worry about them, or on the other hand, don't be jealous of them. One extreme or the other. That's funny. I love how David wrote this, by the way. I love how David realizes that there isn't just one reaction to evil people. There's upset because of they're getting away with it, or there's the jealousy because they're getting away with it. Like, man, I wish I could get away with some stuff. That'd be awesome. Or you're like, oh, this is so wrong. But here's the end game. Here's why we just need to let it go. Don't be jealous because they got it coming, and when it comes, it's gonna hurt. And don't get mad because don't worry, they got it coming, and when it comes, they'll get what they deserve. Because of verse 2 already, for they will soon be cut down like the grass and wither as the green herb. I'm familiar with that. That's what I do for work. So I mow, Friday in particular. No. Yeah, I don't remember. Between Friday and Saturday, those 2 days, I mowed acres and acres of grass. And depending on which lawnmower I was using at the time, based on which place I was at, just, cutting feet of grass at a time. Literal feet of grass at a time. Yeah. I mean, one swoop, it's gone. And that's what's going to happen to these people. One swoop, they're gone. And then you don't have to worry about it or be jealous of it. Because those two motions happen all the time. We see people getting upset at wicked people, or we hear the comment all the time too. It's like, man, if I tried that, I'd get caught, or something. It's like, well, don't try it. You don't have to worry about getting caught. Don't be jealous that they're getting away with it. Seems like their life's easy, because it's not gonna be. Don't worry. Now let's fret and be jealous of this squad. I'm just kidding. This crap. Yeah. I don't know if anybody read Psalm 37 before or familiar with it. It's really long. And we're only through 2 verses. And I knew this would happen, of course, because I do sort of pre-read them. But that's why I say we're hit highlights. And it starts off with a bang, so that's why we kind of had to do that, But the next 2 verses, they go together, and they also kind of pair up well with the first 2 verses. And, I hate to say we're going to skip verses, because they're all good. They all have something. But we are going to skip verses a little bit. But I would just point out, as we skip them, how they all support a certain idea or a theme of maybe say a main verse. Again, I think it's sort of a man-made idea. It's we don't, here's the main verse, we don't need these other ones. That's so silly. That's not true. We need them all. So one day maybe, we'll make videos of Bible studies and we won't have to skip verses. But that'll be when I have an actual studio and a staff. I want a staff to help me with podcasting. So right now, let's look at these next 2 verses because they go together well, and one of them in particular is very familiar to most people. But you don't realize where it's at in this context because most of the time you just see it all by itself on a coffee mug somewhere. I don't like coffee mug verses. Not that I don't like the verse, I don't like the fact that you put it on a coffee mug as if it's some sort of theme for just you or something. It says, verse 3, trust in the Lord and do good, so shalt thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed. So that ties 1 and 2 together with the next verse. Because, you were envious, jealous, whatever, angry, upset, the wicked. Well, understandably. But don't worry, they got theirs coming. So meanwhile, what you need to do, instead of worrying about them or being envious and jealous of them, do this. Trust in the Lord, do good. So your result will be, you will dwell in the land and be fed. So instead of getting mowed down like grass, you're going to thrive. You're going to live in the land and be fed. And what you need to do, your focus, your mindset needs to be